Are you looking for the best budget welding helmet? In this video, we will look at some of the 7 best helmets on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. YESWELDER EH091XL. This YESWELDER welding helmet has all the good features a good auto darkening helmet should have. However, the plastic it's made from is a bit cheap and feels like it can't withstand too much. Still, it has external controls for shade, sensitivity and delay settings, and a grind mode switch, which is pretty sweet. That screen is as big as they come, with a viewing area of 14.8 inch so you can see everything that you need and more. YESWELDER has also improved their display quality since their earlier models and now uses true color technology to provide you with a crystal clear picture. The optical clarity is rated a perfect 1/1/1/1. The helmet has a variable shade range 4 to 13 and a fixed light state shade 3. The 4 sensors make sure it goes from light to dark shade in 1/30,000 seconds. Now, onto the drawbacks. The headgear feels flimsier than the helmet itself. In fact, it's so common that it breaks that a lot of welders just buy a Lincoln Electric headgear and replace it. But the worst complaint is that more than a few welders have experienced flashes, even with full batteries. However, YESWELDER does have decent customer service, and might even provide you with a new helmet if that happens. Number 2. Antra AH6-260-0000. It's surprising how cheap this helmet is considering what you get for the money. Sure, it feels a bit flimsy and you can tell that it probably won't last too long, but it does have some very admirable features. This welding helmet has a variable shade range of 5 to 13, just like the other brands. It's also equipped with 4 sensors and they provide an instant switch from light to dark mode. The issue I have with this helmet is the green tint that the display provides. But you can't really expect a true color display from such a budget-friendly product. Although there's a control board inside, it's only for the delay and sensitivity controls. The shade range/grind mode dial is placed on the external left side of the helmet, to make sure you can switch between modes with ease. Even though the headgear is comfortable enough, and it adjusts well to your head, it doesn't look like it can last too long. If it does break though, you can always buy a separate headgear from a more high-end manufacturer. Number 3. Miller 251292. It's very surprising that you'd find a Miller product in an article for budget welding helmets, yet here it is. Because this welding helmet costs around $100, I feel like it belongs here, and it's also good for comparison next to the less known brands. The problem I have with this welding helmet is that it's too simple. It doesn't offer the features that the less known brands offer for less money. There is no grind mode and the controls are inside. The maximum dark shade is 12, so you can't use it for high amperage welding, and for the delay, you can only choose between fast and slow. There are only 2 arc sensors compared to the 4 that the other helmets on this list offer. Not only that, but the switching speed for light to dark is only 1/10,000 cc, which is 3 times slower than the other helmets. The size of the lens may not be an issue for some welders, but the green tint probably is. While the helmet does feel sturdy and durable, the rest is just not good enough, especially when you take into account that in the same price range, you could get a helmet with all modern-day features. Number 4. TOOLIOM TL21800F. First of all, I love the design. It kind of has a Darth Vader vibe to it. The plastic it's made from does feel a bit cheap, but you get that with most budget welding helmets. It's quite bulky though, so your face and neck will be well protected. Another good thing about the design is the external control dials for shade and sensitivity and delay settings. The size of the lens is most impressive, offering a 14.45 viewing area. On the downside, it does cause this helmet to weigh 2.3 pounds. The shade range is 5 to 13 with a fixed shade of 4 for the light state. TOOLIOM has implemented true color technology to provide you with a very clear picture. The optical clarity is rated 1/1/1/2, which isn't perfect, but it's good enough. There is no blurriness in the picture. It has 4 sensors, but the switching speed is 1/10,000 cc, which is 3 times slower than the YESWELDER EH091XL. You may not feel it, but it will increase eye strain after a few hours of welding. Although TOOLIOM claims the headgear is very comfortable, I'm not so sure. Yes, the paddings are soft and nice, but nothing else is. It's very flimsy and it may poke you where it's not padded. It also tends to break after a few months, but you can always replace it with a better one. To sum it up, this solar-powered auto-darkening welding helmet is as close to perfection as you can get from a cheap welding helmet. On the downside, I find its lack of padding disturbing. Number 5. Lincoln Electric K3419-1. This is Lincoln Electric's cheapest auto-darkening helmet. However, it does offer less than other helmets in the same price range. The lens is very small and the picture isn't too clear either. It's got the classic green tint instead of true color like most helmets from this list. Because of the size of the lens, this helmet only has 2 arc sensors, but they are very reliable and offer a good reaction time. The shade ranges only from 7 to 13, so you can't really use this helmet for very low amperage welding. The helmet does feature an external dial for shade/grind mode, which is always a plus. The fact that the lens is so small and the plastic so thin makes this helmet very light, so you can go on welding for hours without feeling a strain on your neck. Comfort is another great thing about this helmet. The headgear is very ergonomic and offers a lot of options for adjustments. Number 6. DEKOPRO DNS800S. The first thing that you notice when you look at this helmet is the size of the lens. It has a 12.1-inch viewing area which, although not as big as Instapark's lens, is still bigger than what most helmets offer. But there is one big issue with it: there are no external controls. There is a reason for the low price though: the plastic is very thin and the paint is cheap. It really is a welding helmet for hobbyists. Although the display is huge, the picture has a green tint, which most welders have a problem with. The optical clarity rating is 1/1/1/2, so there is no blurriness to additionally strain your eyes. It's very odd that this welding helmet only weighs 2 pounds, which is pretty cool considering the sheer size of the lens. The headgear is also very comfortable and it feels like it will last for at least a couple of years. All in all, this auto-darkening welding helmet is a bargain. Number 7. Monster & Amp Master MMWH001. This welding helmet has a very decent design, but like most cheap helmets, the plastic is thin and flimsy. It does have a very large lens though, 14.8-inch to be precise, and it features an external shade control knob. Nevertheless, the size of the lens is not that important if you don't get a very clear picture, and with this helmet, you don't. Monster & Amp Master doesn't specify the optical clarity rating, and they probably have a reason for it. The switching speed from light to dark isn't great either, at 1/10,000th of a second. The lens shade ranges from 5 to 13 and the light state is at shade 4. The helmet weighs 2.12 pounds, so it's not very light, but the headgear is comfortable enough and provides a good weight distribution. However, more than a few welders have complained that it feels too snug when worn and kinda gives a tunnel view.